What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another price guide, this time for the 30th Anniversary Collection by Hasbro. And this was a request from a Patreon supporter, so I thought I would take a look at some recent sales for mint on card 30th Anniversary figures, battle packs, vehicles. All of these are fairly recent sales. I don't have a lot of 30th Anniversary Collection figures. I've got maybe 10 to 15 or so. But they're beautiful figures. I love the packaging. I love the art style. Everything about them is really cool. It just comes down to space for me. But let's go ahead and take a look. And first off, we're going to start off with Darth Vader, the battle damage version. This has just got a great card back. I love the way that looks mint on card. The helmet kind of fits in with like a jigsaw puzzle type of thing. And it just looks fantastic. The paint and the sculpt and everything about it is just awesome. So love the details on that figure. This one sold for $44.98 with free shipping. That's a pretty good deal. A couple of things as it relates to the 30th Anniversary Collection, if you are a collector looking to add some of these. First of all, the hanger tab on these is very thin, and they do kind of crease a lot, as you see up there. On this example, the hanger tab has got some spider veining going on. The other thing I'll mention is that for whatever reason, the blisters on these do yellow kind of easily. So you have to make sure to zoom in on these photos and make sure it's a clear blister. If that's something you care about. You may not care about the blister yellowing or not, but this one's got a nice, pretty, clear blister. Here's the back of the card, which I also really like. I don't particularly like the character profile. It's kind of an unnecessary type of thing, having the species and the status and all that kind of stuff, but I do like the art style. It almost looks like you're looking at a TV, and I do like how they add some of the other figures that are around the same time period in terms of release. So very cool to see that. Next up, this is one of my favorites within the 30th Anniversary Collection. This is the Pre-cyborg Grievous. I don't have this one personally, but I just love the way it looks. It's kind of before he turned into a cyborg. And it just presents really nicely. And so here's a close-up of that. That one sold for $35 with $8 shipping. I've seen as high as about $45 or $50 for this one, and but just a really cool concept. There's some Macquarie concept figures, things like that. And I don't know where we saw this Pre-cyborg Grievous. I don't know if it was like in a just concept art or if it was in a comic or whatnot, but it looks pretty cool to kind of see him before he was turned into the cyborg that we all know and love from the prequel trilogies. Another Grievous is this one. This is the concept Grievous, and it's kind of in the style of the Macquarie concept figures like Luke and Han and Vader and things like that. But this is kind of the early concepts of how Grievous was going to look. He had a little shield there, and it was more silvery. But another kind of cool concept figure. That one sold for £49.99, which equates to about $60 US plus shipping. And here's a loose figure, and you know that this one is in pretty good demand just for those of you who have the Katana, the HasLab sail barge. And a lot of people are using this Hermie Odal to kind of fill out their sail barge, and even loose they can go for $30, as you see here, plus shipping. You're paying a little bit more, maybe closer to $50 if you want it mint on card, but this is a gigantic and very heavy figure. I really like the kind of detail and the cloth goods on that one. Very cool figure. Next up is another figure that I was not familiar with until I started kind of looking at sales for this video, and that's Ram Koda. He apparently was in The Force Unleashed. I played that game all the way through, and I don't remember this character, but this is somebody that I guess is associated with that video game. And here's a nice close-up of his face there. Pretty cool looking figure. That one sold for $46.99 plus $5.95 shipping. And I found a number of data points that kind of support that same price point. Another one that I was not familiar with is Roram something or other. Roran Korab. He was the Hammerhead Jedi, and he might have had like a brief appearance in the prequel trilogies, but not my favorite sculpt there. It looks a little rudimentary, a little bit too cartoonish for my taste, but that one did sell for $41.95 plus $5.25 shipping. One of the more expensive figures in the line is Darth Revan, and here he is. This is a pretty good example. Not a ton of great photos there, but the card back does look nice and straight, as you can see there. And Revan is certainly one of the more expensive ones. This one sold for $61 plus $10 shipping, so let's call that about $70. I saw as high as $100 in terms of sales here. Here's another one that did sell for $100 plus $7 shipping, and this package looked a little bit cleaner, a little bit flatter. Beautiful, beautiful figure, and I love the card art on that one. I'm right in the middle of reading the Old Republic book about Revan and kind of his story from after he kind of returned back to the light side of the Force. Here's Darth Malak. You can't talk about Revan without talking about Darth Malak. He goes for a little bit less, but he looks pretty great. It's obviously a fairly rudimentary sculpt with those elbows, but looks really nice. That one sold for 38 pounds, which is about $45. And again, I saw this one sell for about as high as $65 in recent sales. Let's cover a few different box sets and vehicles, and the first one is the V-Wing Starfighter. This one sold in an auction. It did have a little bit of damage, if memory served, to the box. Here's the damage right here. It's got a, just kind of a loose flap down there, but it was factory sealed. That one sold for $66 on 4 bids plus $10.70 shipping. And then another cool one is this one. This is Obi-Wan Starfighter with the hyperspace ring that we all remember from the prequel trilogy. Very cool item. That one sold for $150 on 1 bid plus $15 shipping. I saw it about as high as $170. I don't know if this one has jumped up a little bit in price just because of the new Obi-Wan series that has just finished up over on Disney Plus, but I did see a number of sales kind of in that 150 to 170 range. And speaking of Disney Plus, this is another item that continues to command pretty good money on the secondary market after the Book of Boba Fett and some of those flashback scenes that we saw with the Tusken Raiders. This is the Bantha with Tusken Raiders, and this one sold for 150 pounds or about 180 US. I've seen as low as 150 to as high as about 180-ish. So this is towards the upper end of the price range for that box set. Another really cool one is the AT-RT Assault Squad. These kind of like the camouflage Kashyyyk style troopers with 2 different AT-RTs in there. Really cool battle pack. That was a Target exclusive. That sold for $55 plus $13.67 shipping. That's a pretty good deal. This is a Revenge of the Sith Target exclusive battle pack, but that's a really cool item for the price. Next up is the ARC-170 Fighter. This obviously also came in the Vintage Collection box, if memory serves, but pretty cool item there. That one sold for $180 plus free shipping. And the price point is about the same, maybe slightly higher for the Vintage Collection version, if memory serves. Another really good one is the TIE Bomber. We obviously never got that in the Vintage Kenner run, although there were some prototype examples of this that I've seen on Facebook. This one was packed in with a TIE Fighter pilot, TIE Bomber pilot, and he kind of is displayed there in a window, but very cool item. And it shows the TIE Bomber dropping flash flares as they look for the Millennium Falcon in the asteroid belt, but this was another Target exclusive. This sold for $130 plus $20 shipping. Here's another battle pack. This is the Betrayal on Felucia, where what's-her-name got assaulted and killed by the clone troopers after Order 66. Great packaging. I love the kind of the cardboard box insert behind there that kind of gives it a 3D appearance. Looks really great there. Ayla Secura, that's her name. My memory's a little slow right now. This one sold for $99.99, and I did find a number of examples that have sold here recently in that kind of, let's call it $85 to about $115 range for that battle pack. And another very expensive one is the Battlefront 2 clone pack. So you have, it looks like 6 different clones associated with the Battlefront 2 art pack or art style on the packaging. That one sold for $210. So anything clones continues to command big money. The art style on the back is really great, though. It's got the Galactic Marine, the clone sharpshooter, a heavy trooper, a regular clone trooper, a jet trooper, and a clone engineer. So there's the back of that one. Really clean box, and just a little bit of edge wear there on the back left-hand corner. And again, that one sold for $210. And then finally, we've got Darth Vader's Sith Starfighter. I don't remember ever seeing this before, but this is a pretty cool one. It's got kind of the tie. What's it called? There was a tie that was in the Rogue One battle scene over there on Scarif, and it's kind of the same style to to that TIE fighter. I can't remember the name of it now. TIE Interceptor. It's not a TIE Interceptor. What's the name of that? My memory is not working right now, but same style to that, but it's labeled Darth Vader's Sith Starfighter. So pretty cool to see that one. I had never seen that one before, and admittedly, I don't really follow the 30th anniversary collection that closely, but anytime I find a cool one, I thought I'd kind of show that one on the price update. But that one was listed for $140 plus $15 shipping. Best offer accepted. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a smattering of different recent sales. All of these have sold over the last, I'd say, 2 to 3 weeks, and everything from battle packs to vehicles to mint on card items. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.